my brother is young, she is up there. Anytime my brother fresh out of jail going with this girl. Anytime my brother don't know nothing about half of the niggas that he set up.
Barbara call the police, me can't bother. Oh God. Jesus.
A local rapper in Montgomery, Alabama went live on Facebook right after killing his baby mama, and the reason he gave for doing it is something that changes this whole story completely. The internet has not stopped talking since. Before we analyze what he said on the call, let's start from the beginning, because neither of these two people were strangers to each other, and this whole situation did not come from nowhere. The man at the center of all of this is Caleb Spell, better known on the streets of Montgomery, Alabama as Lee Spell, Lil Spell, or MMG Spell, depending on who you asked. He was around 24 years old when this happened, a Montgomery native who had been in and out of serious trouble since he was a teenager, while at the same time trying to build a name for himself in the local rap scene.
Gon' free my time, be snoring, got the gun on me, you know I'm blowing. Yeah, I ain't finna talk and tight with a nigga, you play with me, I'm shooting on sight. Got a new gun, I ain't buy for no reason, you run up on me, I'ma shoot out the light. No, I'm getting hard, that rap shit, I'ma go in every time I'm in front of a mic.
His music was underground level, the kind that moves through Facebook Lives and local venues rather than streaming platforms, but people in his city knew who he was. People who knew him described him as a night person, fun, funny, the kind of person who could walk into a room and make people comfortable. He had a hospital job in Montgomery while moving through the city's rap scene, and by all accounts, he had real people around him who cared about him. But Spell had been carrying something heavy for a long time before any of this happened. Back in August of 2022, he was just 20 years old when he was arrested and charged with capital murder in connection with the death of 23-year-old Gabriel Willis, who was shot and killed in East Montgomery. A 16-year-old named Kendarius Streeter was also arrested in that same case. Both of them were held in the Montgomery County Detention Facility on $1.5 million bond each. Capital murder in Alabama carries some of the heaviest penalties you can face in court, and Spell was sitting on that charge for years without the case ever reaching a public resolution. No conviction, plea deal, or dismissal that anyone could find in the records, just a serious charge that was sitting there while he continued to live his life on the outside. One of his former coworkers put it this way after his death: "No matter what people assumed, nobody truly knew the battles you were fighting except you and God. We all go through things, and I just wish I could have been there for you before you made that decision. I'm sorry I missed your call, Caleb." That's what hurt me the most. Even the people who worked next to him every day had no idea how close to the edge he actually was.
I ain't fed you, I been asleep, I ain't get them in the hours of sleep, but yeah, I got some sleep. But they whole literally eat a sour straw, go get fucked. This the one day she ain't have no sour straw. They whole fuck about 10 niggas came to my shit, talking about something. Y'all, I got something to eat in there. I'm thinking they finna go in there. I don't get no fuck. If you go in, I'm thinking they finna go in there and throw her something together, cause it's all kind of food and shit in there. I'm thinking they finna go in there and make her something like a real meal. This hoe came in that bitch, walking out the house, dropping chips out her hand. That hoe got them bitches like dead. Like it's a baby. Hoe got about 10 bags of chips, 4 cranberry juices. Man, you telling me you just fought 10 niggas and ain't none one of them niggas fed you? You fought 10 niggas and ain't nobody feed you. Them niggas ain't send you out for $20? You done ran through 4 boxes of corners. It's 3 corners in a box. And ain't not one nigga bought you none meal.
Now, let's take a look at the woman he killed. Her name was Ariana Grant, 29 years old, also from Montgomery. Online, she went by the name Ari P. Kari. She was the mother of at least 2 children, and one of those children she shared with Spell. The two of them had been together at some point, and by the time this happened, they were no longer a couple, though what exactly their relationship looked like in those final weeks is something only they really knew. The community that knew her remembers her well, and the people around her have been very clear that she had no kind of history that made what happened to her anything close to acceptable. She was a young woman, a mother, someone's daughter, and she left behind children who are now growing up without either of their parents. What connected Ariana to Spell's legal trouble is the part of the story that changes everything. According to what spread widely on social media in the days after this incident, Ariana had been cooperating with investigators and was reportedly scheduled to testify against Spell in court that coming Monday, just days after she was killed. Police have not officially confirmed that detail, but it lines up with what Spell himself allegedly said on camera before he died, and we're going to get into that because what he admitted on that Facebook Live is something else entirely. By May of 2026, Spell was out on the street carrying a capital murder charge from 2022 that had never gone to a public trial and allegedly connected to at least one other killing that investigators were building a case around. The case that appears closest to what triggered the events of May 15th involves a man named Terrell Arion Fuller. Fuller, who was 25 years old, was shot and killed on September 14, 2024, in the 3200 block of Virginia Pines Lane in Montgomery. A man named Quintarius Jermez Burden was charged with that murder in December of 2024, while he was already sitting in jail on a separate robbery charge. Burden had no bond. But according to what spread heavily on social media after Spell's Facebook Live, Spell allegedly admitted that he was actually the one responsible for Fuller's death, not Burden, and that Burden was sitting in jail for something Spell himself had done. That is an enormous claim, and we have to be honest that it comes from social media accounts of what people say Spell said on that live stream, not from anything law enforcement has confirmed on the record. But it is what the people who watched that live insist he said, and it explains exactly what the stakes were for Spell going into that court date. Now here is how social media says the night of May 15th played out. The key parts of this have been repeated consistently across hundreds of posts and reaction videos, even though police have not officially confirmed every detail. Spell allegedly contacted Ariana under the pretense of getting back together or needing to talk, got her to come to a house on Simmons Drive. She came and then he shot and killed her. Montgomery police received the call at approximately 11:29 at night on Friday, May 15, 2026. Officers arrived at 2936 Simmons Drive and found Ariana with a fatal gunshot wound. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The man, who social media widely identifies as Spell but whom police have not officially named, was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was taken to the hospital, where he died not long after.
Montgomery police have identified the victim in a Friday night murder-suicide. Police say they responded to a reported double shooting around 11:30 p.m. on the 2900 block of Simmons Drive. They say they found a 29-year-old Ariana Grant who was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say the suspected shooter, who hasn't been identified, was taken to the hospital for a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He later died there. The investigation is ongoing and police are asking anyone with information.
Ariana Grant became Montgomery's 17th homicide victim of 2026. But before Spell died, he went on Facebook Live. And what he said on that live is the reason this story went all the way across the internet. According to people who watched it in real time and the clips that circulated afterward, he sat on camera and confessed to killing Ariana. He talked about betrayal, about Ari cooperating with police and being ready to testify against him. He reportedly said she had known what he had been involved in, that they had been through things together in the streets, and that when she chose to go to the detectives, it felt like the deepest kind of betrayal. And then he allegedly went even further and admitted to other murders, including what people say was a direct admission to killing Fuller. His sister went live not long after all of this came out, and she did not hold back.
Both of them got blood on their hand. My brother is young, she is up there. Anytime my brother fresh out of jail going with this girl, anytime my brother don't know nothing about half of the niggas that he set up and did with this girl put him on the boys. She put him on. So if you gonna be Bunny and Clyde, you gonna ride like Bunny and Clyde. You got the blood on your hands just as he got the blood on his hands. It didn't have shit to do with it. My brother was finna beat that case. That's where the depression came from. He literally was finna beat the case. No evidence, no nothing. He ain't even did it. They couldn't pinpoint on him. They couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do it.
And then she said something that explains a lot about where Spell's head was in those final days.
They both was gonna be away from her, they child, for about 5 years. All they had to do was take a plea deal, and that was on their case. And that was, and then he took the plea deal so she wouldn't even have to talk to the police or do nothing. He took the plea deal for her.
So according to the sister, there was a plea deal on the table for both of them. Spell took it specifically so Ariana would not have to go anywhere near police about anything, and then she went to the detectives anyway. Whether that account is accurate is something only the people who were there really know, and Ariana Grant is not here to give her side of it. But that is what his sister said publicly, on record, and it adds another layer to a situation that was already far more complicated than what most people on the outside could see. When police finished processing the scene at Simmons Drive, the investigation was classified as an ongoing apparent domestic murder-suicide, which meant that from a legal standpoint, it was effectively closed before it ever started. Both people involved were dead. Nobody to arrest, nobody to put on trial. The case was not going to move through a courtroom the way most people expect justice to look. But the Facebook Live that Spell allegedly recorded changes what this whole incident means for several other people who are still very much alive and caught inside the legal system. According to what circulated widely online, Spell recorded more than one video before he died, and some of those recordings were allegedly made at a local cemetery where he went after leaving Simmons Drive. If Spell's admissions are true, then Burden has been sitting behind bars for something he did not do, and a dead man's confession on a Facebook live stream is the closest thing to new evidence in that case that has come up in months. The family of Gabriel Willis, the man Spell was originally charged with killing back in 2022, also came out publicly after the Facebook Live started spreading everywhere. A post from May 19, 2026 stated that nearly 4 years after Gabriel Willis's death, Spell's Facebook confession had given their family a glimmer of hope, and that the family was going live to demand justice. 4 years of waiting for answers about who killed their person, and the closest thing to an answer came from a man talking into his phone camera the night he chose to end his own life. What happens legally with any of this is genuinely unclear. A confession on a Facebook Live from someone who is now deceased is not the same as a conviction in a courtroom. Law enforcement would need to verify those recordings, match them against physical evidence, and make difficult decisions about how they apply to cases that are already moving through the courts. But the families waiting for closure on the Willis case and the Fuller case are now watching to see whether anyone in authority is actually paying attention to what Spell said in those videos. This kind of tragedy is not something that happened for the first time in Montgomery. In December of 2021, a 44-year-old man in Maryland named Roger Black went live on Facebook after shooting and killing his ex-girlfriend, Tara LeBong. On the stream, he said, "I just did something crazy. I just shot my ex-girlfriend in the head. Felt like a dream. I never thought I would be that guy. I can't go to prison, so the person that really started my depression and all of this is my ex-wife. So she next. Then I'm going to do myself, too." He then went and killed his ex-wife and shot himself.
She's threatening that she's going to do the same thing. You're never going to see your kids, blah, blah, blah. It's the holidays, man. I don't have no family, nothing. Anyway, I just did something crazy, man. I just shot my ex-girlfriend in the head, yo. Felt like a dream. Like, I never thought I would be that guy. I can't go to prison, so the person that really started my depression and all of this is my ex-wife. So she next, and then I'm going to do myself too. But I just wanted to say this to people. Don't play with people's emotions, man. Don't lie on these men. Oh, here's my ex-wife right here. Felt like a dream. Like, I never thought I would be that guy. I can't go to prison, so the person that really started my depression and all of this is my ex-wife. So she next, and then I'm going to do myself too. But I just wanted to say this to people. Don't play with people's emotions, man. Don't lie on these men. Oh, here's my ex-wife right here. And all of this is my ex-wife. So she next, and then I'm going to do myself too. But I just wanted to say this to people. Is my ex-wife. So she next, and then I'm going to do myself too. But I just wanted to say this to people. Don't play with people's emotions, man. Don't lie on these men. Oh, here's my ex-wife right here.
Children were in a car outside while all of this was happening.
Hearing from the former girlfriend of Rajay Black, police say Black killed two of his former partners in a rampage that started in Baltimore and then ended in Howard County. WJZ investigator Mike Helgren has the follow-up tonight.
I kept urging him to go to therapy.
The former girlfriend has not been able to bring herself to watch the Facebook Live video.
It's the holidays, man. I don't have no family, nothing. Anyway, I just did something crazy, man.
Where Rajay Black appears to confess to killing his ex-girlfriend Tara LeBang before police say he gunned down his ex-wife Wendy Black at her home in Columbia Saturday, all while his young children waited in an SUV outside.
We did have access to weapons. I definitely feel for the children. I feel for all of them. Wendy and Tara.
She asked that we not name her and shared this video of Rajay. She says they met in March 2019 and broke up a year later. She says he had severe depression and never got help for it.
I felt like I was the only support system for him in a way, but I had to choose my own sanity. I had to choose my own well-being. And when I broke up with him, I still loved him incredibly. But I knew that I had to put myself first. I couldn't be a part of it because he just wouldn't get help.
The former girlfriend shared a text message Rajay sent, telling her, "There was a time that I was so low that I didn't want to live anymore. It was you that helped me get through it." She said he told her he loved his kids.
Were you ever afraid of him?
No, Jay never cursed at me. He never raised a voice at me. He always told me because of what I had been in a previous relationship with being abused, that he would never hurt me. That's what he said to me.
But according to court records, Wendy Black filed multiple protective orders that were denied. Last year, in her own handwriting, she said, "I am terrified because I do not know what he's capable of doing to me and the girls. I do not feel that we are safe. I do not feel safe at all. I feel that my life is in danger."
A lot of times people don't take it serious when people say that their life is in danger. Definitely about protecting women, there's definitely a broken system.
Mike Helgren, WJZ.
The connections to what happened in Montgomery are hard to miss. A man who felt boxed in by the results of his own choices. A public live stream used as a confessional. Women who paid with their lives, and children left behind to grow up carrying that reality forever. The difference is not in Maryland, there was nothing else legally hanging in the air beyond what happened that night. In Montgomery, there are open murder cases connected to other people, a man sitting in jail without bond who might have been charged with something he did not do, and at least 2 families who have been waiting years for a straight answer about who killed their loved ones. The Facebook Live is the only real evidence pointing anywhere new, and it came from a man who had nothing left to lose when he recorded it. What we are left with is this. A 29-year-old woman named Ariana Grant is gone. She left behind children who needed their mother. Jacaleb Spell was a young man whose life was going sideways since he was 20 years old, with people around him who genuinely loved him, and he still ended up at a place where he made choices that destroyed more than one family in a single night. And somewhere in a jail cell, Kentaris Burden is waiting on a murder case that the man who allegedly committed is no longer alive to testify about in any courtroom. If you made it this far, you already know what to do. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think about this whole situation, because people on the internet are very divided on this one. Hit that like button if this video gave you something to think about, and if you are new here, click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. We cover stories like this every week, the ones that go deeper than the headlines. We'll see you in the next video.